Goodwood, September 5th, 1982. A 20-year-old from Rochdale is about to become Britain's first female cycling road race world champion in 15 years. She's on the dole. Her parents drive her to races in their car, and she's about to shock the cycling world. This is the story of how Mandy Jones conquered the world in 1982. Mandy grew up in proper club cycling, West Pennine Road Club in Rochdale, Sunday runs, youth hosteling weekends, and touring in the lakes with her family, which included her sister Carol, who would also go on to be a talented Great Britain rider. Their dad had started them on a 3-speed shopper bike, fondly known as the Pig. Mandy recalls her dad taking her to Cyril Bardsley's bike shop in Stockport to buy a frame and accessories to build her a fixed-wheel bike. She would ride that fixed-wheel bike until she was 16. This was traditional working-class club cycling. No concessions. Within 2 years of starting racing, Mandy had won bronze at the 1980 World Championships in Salonches in France on a second-hand bike that was too big for her. She was just 18. The goal was set. Win the rainbow jersey on home soil at Goodwood in 1982. But here's what that meant in practice. She'd signed up on the dole to train full time. There wasn't the support that there is now for riders. Her parents gave her petrol money to get to races. There were bits of grant funding from the Sports Council. But when she raced abroad, she kept the skin suit, but everything else had to be returned. It wasn't the same as it is now. The shorts and jerseys were mostly men's kit, and it had to be handed back at the end of the race. That was British women's cycling in 1982. Women's races were shorter, there were fewer events. The women's Olympic road race wouldn't exist until 1984. And the GB team, they were individuals who mostly raced against each other domestically, who were brought together for international events. There was Margaret and Catherine Swinnerton, Julie Earnshaw, Pauline Strong, and Mandy. No support structure like today. No psychologists, no nutritionists, no team buses. Just talent, determination, and a strong family support structure. In 1982, Mandy was in fine form. She had won the national 3,000 metres individual pursuit championship. She'd broken the world 5,000 metre women's record on the track, and she had become the national 50-mile time trial champion, becoming the first woman to beat Beryl Burton in any time trial competition for 15 years. The week before Goodwood, Mandy rode the World Track Pursuit Championships in Leicester at the Saffron Lane Velodrome. That's now been demolished and makes way for the properly covered velodromes in Manchester, Derby and London. She was knackered. She'd overtrained. She finished just outside the medals and was bitterly disappointed. And she was bitterly disappointed with her result. She said at the time she'd quit international racing. She was fed up. Then she just had a week off. Then she had a week off before the road race. She barely touched the bike. An accidental perfect taper. Race day, 4 laps of a 15-kilometre circuit, the Goodwood motor racing course, out into the Sussex lanes, and then climbing to the race course. From the start, the race was split every lap on the climb. With a lap and a bit to go, Mandy got caught after being away with the Dutch rider Mika Havik. Mandy had to make a big effort to get back into the group and would eventually go away with Italy's Maria Canins, Belgium's Gerda Sierens, and France's Sandra Schumacher. Over the top of Goodwood's climbs, the road flattens before turning into a descent. And that's where it happened. Downhill, not her strength. She went round the corner first, got going, looked around and saw the gap. She put head down and she never saw them again. Her climbing ability got her there, her time trialling strength, years of those brutal 10s and 25s carried her home, solo, by 10 seconds. As she crossed the line, she knew, hand up in the air, she was world champion. She then crossed the line and collapsed into the arms of officials. She later said, "You've never experienced pain. You're never in pain when you win, whether it's a fish and chipper, nationals or worlds." Speaking to Hugh Porter straight after, she sounded ecstatic, but typically Mandy, blunt and knowing her own mind, promising herself a year off from the bike, a promise she wasn't to keep. Winning at Goodwood was the 3-year goal, but nobody discussed what happens if you win. There were newspaper pictures, there were photo shoots, she appeared on A Question of Sport, dinner, invitations. Her bike riding suffered. The motivation disappeared. She felt obliged to attend events when she should have been training. She felt obliged to attend events when she should have been training. A calf injury developed. This injury was to go undiagnosed for years. 2 doctors told her, "There can't possibly be anything wrong with your leg because you wouldn't be winning national championships in this much pain." She had won the 10 and 25-mile nationals in 1985, but she couldn't walk afterwards. The decision to retire was eventually taken out of her hands. Mandy now runs Forks Cycles with her husband Nigel, himself a former milk race yellow jersey holder. Her rainbow jersey is on display in the shop. The medals are in a box. Memories of a career that spanned 2 British national 3,000 metre individual pursuit championships in 1981 and 1982. That national 50-mile time trial title, as well as that bronze medal at the 1980 World Road Race Championships. She was also inducted into the British Cycling Hall of Fame in 2009. She was, above all, the first British woman to win the Elite Road Race World Championship in 15 years. And that achievement stands. She was 20 years old. She was 20 years old, on the dole, but world champion. That's what you could do in 1982, even when the system gave you next to nothing. Imagine what she could have done with the support today's riders receive. Chapeau, Mandy.